Okay, it's Sunday again, and we have once more a game lined up. This time around it's Battle for the Pass. We're actually using the exact same armies we had last week, just to test out some consistency, I guess. My army, I've managed to make a new addition. Obviously I proxied it last week, but I've actually got a Terrorgeist now. So this army actually has no proxies in at all, which is quite nice. And we're actually starting to paint it now as well, so you may even see it painted one day. Okay, so I'll run you through my army. Okay, first of all we have 20 ghouls, a spirit host, 40 zombies, 30 skeletons with a can wraith and the vampire lord, a mortis engine with the blasphemous tome, 20 zombie bunker with a level 1 necromancer and my level 4 master necromancer. We have 20 graveguard, 6 crypt horrors, a terrorgeist, and 5 direwolves, and that's it. So roll for my spells. Got some pretty decent ones. I've got Hellish Vigor, Raised Dead, Van Hales, and Invocation of Nehek. And both my level 1s took Invocation as well. So and that's it. So I shall hand you over to Si, see what he's got.
Okay, my army is unchanged from last week as well. I have on my left flank a Saber-Tusk. Then I have my Mournfang Cavalry, the Man-Eaters. Then I have a unit of 13 Iron Guts with my BSB and my Slaughtermaster General. Behind that is an Iron Blaster. Then I've got a unit of 6 Ledge Belchers, and then right far off of there is another Saber-Tusk. And even though I had +1, I lost a deployment, so Ollie is going first. So we'll see you at the end of Vampires turn 1.
Okay, it's the end of Vampire Counts turn 1. The mortis engine rolled for its radius thing. I think it's the Reliquary. And rolled double 6, thus taking a wound, but it did mean everything within 13, which is everything apart from the dogs. Got a regen save. And that was it. So in the movement, I moved the spirit host like gunning this way, and then the magic phase. So the spirit host has actually got regen as well. The magic phase, I managed to get 9 dice, 6 to sire. I managed to cast a biggish invocation. I got 11 more zombies, 6 more skeletons. It was a bit more, but it just wouldn't fit because of the mortis engine. And then 11 more zombies in this unit as well. Then Sire dispelled Raised Dead, and also managed to dispel another invocation. His legendary luck with dispelling stuff with dispel dice. I think he's dispelled more since he hasn't added a dispel scroll than when he did.
Dispel scroll's cursed.
And that was it. So nothing else moved forward apart from the spirit host. They just shuffled around a little bit. So that was the end of Vampire Counts turn 1.
Okay, it's the end of Ogres turn 1. Only charge was over there. I figured, well, I need an 11 to get in, and I thought, well, if I can get in, then it holds him up. Otherwise, it's no real kind of nothing lost because he was quite far out. And as Ollie pointed out, the 11 and 12s are always easy to make. It's the ones where you need a 5 to 8 that are the difficult ones. And yeah, thankfully Swift Stride got me in.
Oh
yes, that's a good point. Okay, it's the end of Ogres turn 1. I charged the Saber-Tusk on my right flank into the Spirit Host. Well, the Spirit Host was not happy about getting ganked last time, so it turned around and battered shit out of him in close combat. Everyone else just sort of moved up, sort of down here. Then in the magic phase I had a pretty successful one. I got Spine Marrow and Bull Gorger off on these guys, and then I got Troll Guts off on everyone, basically. Yeah, basically cast Bull Gorger first, Ollie let it through. I had 9 dice, he had 5 dispel. I then used 5 on Troll Guts to leave me with 1 left. And and then I rolled pretty high. I got 25, and Ollie unfortunately fluffed his dispel, so I got it all off. And then on the other one I got then spine marrow with my last dice, which was rather nice. So yeah, unfortunately and then in the shooting phase I managed to put 5 wounds on his Terrorgeist, so that will now be useless for the next couple of games. Popped its cooldown, and then these guys managed to kill 5 of the ghouls over there in the on my right. So yeah, unfortunately the only fly in the ointment being the loss of the guy, but you know, it's lucky to get in there. A little bit of luck to get in, and a little bit of luck on Ollie's part kind of balances it out. I'm no worse off than I would have been had it failed the charge anyway, so you know, it's not that bad. So yeah, all in all, a pretty successful turn for me, and yeah, it will be on to Vampire Count's turn 2.
Okay, it's the end of Vampire Count's turn 2, and moved up quite far this time, just getting ready for the charges and that. Unfortunately my dogs weren't in range of the general, so I couldn't do what I wanted to do with them. It's just an oversight on my part. So I just moved everything up just to kind of receive the charge. And then in the magic, the Mortis engine got 11 this time, so everything but the ghouls got the regen again. Obviously the dogs didn't. And then in the magic phase, only rolled 4, 2 each, or 2 to Si and 4 to me. Managed to get off a 12-inch invocation and heal a wound back to the Terrorgeist, and then also use the lore attribute on him as well. So he's got 3 wounds now. And then use the last dice just to try and cast another invocation, just so I could use the lore attribute to heal him for another wound, which unfortunately which I failed to cast. Then in the shooting phase, just because I couldn't quite get to the Mournfang because the dog was in the way, so I couldn't land there, I just screamed at the dog instead, and did him about 5 wounds. So yeah, which is quite interesting actually. Were you within 6 of that hound, the cat? It's kind of there, wasn't it?
Well, it was about there.
Yeah. So get the. You never know. It's not like you've ever failed a break test with them. Panic test?
No.
No. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. So a little bit of hope there, but no. So that was it. So that's the end of Vampire Count's turn 2.
Okay. It is the end of Ogres turn 2. Yeah, there's some clever positioning from Ollie's last turn. I wasn't particularly liking how it was looking, so I backed everyone up. Just playing a little bit more tactically. Yeah, then in the magic phase, I rolled a 6 and a 1. We both failed to channel. I got off Ball Gorger on these guys, then tried to get Troll Guts off, but that was just about dispelled. So yeah, unfortunately, well, over here in close combat, Ollie managed to do a wound, but I got lucky and managed to save it. So the combat, I actually won the combat, and he took a crumble wound. Then over here, unfortunately, due to some nice placement of his dogs relative to the Terrorgeist, I wasn't able to sit the dice at the maximum 10 range. So I had to settle for 9. Unfortunately, I did roll a 10, which is typical. So I just about missed the Terrorgeist, which is disappointing because I was feeling confident that I could finish that off this turn and rid myself of a thorn in my side. So unfortunately, I think these guys are going to probably cop it in a minute. So yeah, not a bad turn. A little bit disconcerting. I've got to figure out and pick my chances to charge now. I think instead of just previously charging headlong into battle, I've really got to think and pick my moments. Otherwise, I'm going to end up in trouble. So yeah, it's now Vampire Count's turn 3. Okay, it's the end of Vampire Count's turn 3.
So the Mortis engine went off again and got an 11-inch range again, which is nice. Gave most things regen, apart from the Terrorgeist, which is bad news for him. Then I just moved the dogs up to redirect the Mornfang, moved the Terrorgeist up so I could scream at the Mornfang, and everything else just moved up, as you can see. Then the magic phase, I can't remember how many dice now, but
you got 7.
7, yeah. So I attempted to cast a.
Yeah, you didn't do your. We forgot to do your miscast.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, sorry we interrupted there. We forgot to do my miscast because I rolled an irresistible on the 18-inch range invocation, which I used to heal the Terrorgeist by 1 wound. Unfortunately, it was out of range of the lore attribute. And I actually got a 12-inch invocation off as well, just because I forgot to declare an 18 one. I actually said 12 instead of 18. So I got 2 invocations off, hence the ridiculous amount of zombies in this bunker unit. Got some more skeletons and some more zombies in that unit as well. So I resolved the miscast, and obviously because the Mortis engine I have to roll twice. So the first time I rolled a 9, and then the second time I rolled a 9. So I chose the 9, and my Vampire Lord took a wound but passed his ward save, and the other 2 took a wound but failed their 6-up regen. So yeah, got off lightly there, which was a result.
You always do. Without Mortis engine.
So that was it for the magic phase, and then in the shooting phase, my Terrorgeist screamed at the Mornfang. Managed to kill one of them with exactly 3 wounds, and then in close combat, my Spirit Host managed to wound on the Lead Belchers, thus making it a draw, which was nice. So that was it. End of Vampire Counts turn 3.
Okay, end of Vampire Counts. Ogre Kingdoms turn 3. Everyone moved up again. The close combat over here ended up me winning due to static combat res, so I failed to wound. I shot with this, it's Terrorgeist, hit it, unfortunately only did 1 wound. And then, yeah, like I said, everyone just shuffled back. Then in the magic phase, I managed to get off Ball Gorger, then miscast with Troll Guts, but thankfully I rolled the same as Ollie did last time and just managed to wound me dude. So yeah, that basically concludes turn 3.
Okay, it's the end of Vampire Counts turn 4, or should I say Vampire Counts Goblins and Skaven, because I've raised quite a few zombies over the last few turns. So the Mortis engine got 11 again. That's giving everyone regen, apart from the ones that really need it. And then in the magic phase, I rolled 11 dice and got a channel, so 12 magic dice. And so the first up, I attempted to cast Burn Hails, just to get everyone up in his grill a bit quicker, but he dispelled it. And then I cast Raise Dead, and raised this 9-man unit of zombies here. Suspiciously like a couple of rat ogres. And then I cast a big invocation on my level 1, just because he was in range of the Terrorgeist. I threw 5 dice at it, managed to get it off without mishap, and gave a wound back to the Terrorgeist, and raised some more zombies. And that was it for magic. And then the shooting phase, Terrorgeist screamed, but this time at the man-eaters, and did 5 wounds to them, rolling pretty well. And that was it. And then the close combat, I fluffed my attacks again, and that's taking another wound from his rank. So that Spirit Host has only got 1 wound left now, so it's going down. So yeah, so we move into Ogres turn 4.
Okay, it's end of Ogres turn 4. Not that much happened. Again, I backed up. I had a pretty useless magic phase. Well, actually, no, it wasn't that useless. I rolled a 2, rolled a double 1, managed to get Troll Guts off, which was nice. Fortunately over here, I finally managed to get rid of that annoying Spirit Host. However, the most annoying part of the turn was the fact that this Terrorgeist is still here. I mean, this thing, I've shot at it so many times, and I've just been unable to I just rolled another 1 for the number of wounds, and by rights it should be long dead and buried by now. So that's really, really annoying because it's now not giving me any confidence in the plan that I've got. So yeah, that's a pain in the arse. So we'll have to see what happens in Vampire Counts turn 5.
Okay, it's the end of Vampire Counts turn 5, and what's rapidly turning out to be the weirdest game we've ever played. The Mortis engine got 13 this time, so managed to give the Ghouls regen. And then I just shifted everything up as much as I could. Chose the Terrorgeist into the flank of the Mournfang, hoping to make something happen. Reasoning that he couldn't actually reform because the dogs were in the way. So this way, hopefully I can kill him because I get 4 strength 6 attacks and he gets 3 strength 4 attacks. The magic phase, tried Van Hale's, he dispelled it. Then I cast a big invocation, got a wound back on the Terrorgeist. Also, the reason for charging him is obviously safe from the cannon this time. Then I cast Hellish Vigor on these guys just because I had a dice left. Thought might as well, no risk of a miscast. Just because they were about the only thing that could get in combat because the Terrorgeist was out of range. Then in the shooting phase, the Terrorgeist screamed at the Mournfang and rolled a huge amount, got 15, which of course did 8 wounds, but then Sai rolled 7 of his regens, so I needed 1 wound, which of course doesn't count as combat res. And then in the close combat I fluffed all my attacks, got 1 hit, 1 wound, and then failed to wound. Then he hit back and actually wounded me by rolling a 6 to wound and then me failing my regen. So it was actually a drawn combat because he's got standard and I got a flank and a charge. So they're just sitting there as they are. And that was pretty much it. So that's the end of Vampire Counts turn 5. And so Sai's running out of time to make something happen here. So that's all.
Okay, the end of Ogres turn 5. Basically, I reformed the Man-Eaters. That was pretty much all they did. They just moved back a little bit. The Lead Belchers stayed where they were. In the magic phase, I tried to make these guys stubborn. Ollie scrolled it. And then I rolled 6 dice for a Troll Guts, got a massive 31 without miscasting. Yeah, gave everyone 4-up regen. Then in close combat, then in the shooting phase, I tried to shoot his Mortis engine. Unfortunately misfired, but luckily it was just the one that lurched around to face a random facing, so I kind of got away with that. And then over here, I managed to kill 7 of his Crypt Ghouls, and which was rather nice. And then in close combat, Ollie managed to do a wound against my guys. I failed to wound back, so I lost combat by 1. However, I managed to roll less than a 7, and I stayed put. So it's now Vampire Counts turn 6, and yeah, we will see how it goes. The last game turn.
Okay, it's the end of Vampire Counts turn 6, and in an effort to try and make this game actually happen, I charged my Vampire Lord out, charged the dogs in, just so to get out of his face, and then the Terrorgeist side was obviously still in combat, and everything else just moved up. And then in the magic phase, I managed to cast another Van Hale's just to get a wound back on Terrorgeist because he dispelled my Van Hale's dance. So I rolled 30, but he rolled a double 6 to dispel it. So I managed to get 1 wound on the Terrorgeist, and then I screamed at them, did like 3 wounds, but he saved 2 of them with his regen. And then in close combat, my Vampire did, I think it's like 5 or 6 wounds. Terrorgeist did another couple. So he had 1 guy with 1 wound left. Unfortunately, because the dogs were in there, they handed him some combat res. So he lost the combat by 1. Passed his leadership test because he only failed by 1. So it's left me right in the lurch, which is now I predict is of course these man-eaters are going to go on the flank of the Terrorgeist, kill it, And because my Vampire Lord can only contribute 1 to the combat res, he's going to crumble, and I'm going to lose by a lot. So, anyway, we're going to see what happens. Maybe he'll fluff all his attacks. So that's the end of Vampire Counts turn 6.
Okay, it's the end of Ogres turn 6, last one of the game. I shot with the lead belchers at his unit of ghouls, killed another 7 of them. I then shot with the cannon and killed his mortis engine, which went kaboom. It wiped out quite a few skeletons, although over here it was sort of pretty academic as to what happened. The only thing that mattered was sort of over here. On Ollie there was 5 left after my shooting, and then Ollie managed to roll only 5, so it was just enough. He rolled to wound with all of them, but he just managed to make his regen save. So 1 was left, so that denied me the points for the win. And then over here the man-eaters had charged into combat with the Terrorgeist. The Vampire Lord slaughtered the remaining Mournfang, and then I turned around and slaughtered the Terrorgeist. Because neither were then in combat, nothing happened. So the Lord and the man-eaters were just eyeing each other across the shattered corpses of the Mournfang. The ogre was actually looking to and trying to hope that the vampire wasn't going to try and eat any of the dead Mournfang, because these guys are quite hungry now after killing the Terrorgeist, and as there was no meat on the Terrorgeist, them Mournfang were looking mighty tasty, so they was hoping the Vampire Lord was going to
he's got dibs on it.
going to bugger off, and they can sit down and eat. Apparently Mournfang are quite tasty. So yeah, at that point, that was the end of the game. We tallied the scores up. Ollie got 392 victory points, I got 550, so unfortunately it wasn't quite enough for a win, so it was a draw. So yeah, pretty good, and I'll hand it over to Ollie to do the summations.
Well, so that's the end of the game. As I said, it was a draw in the end. I think mainly because the rules don't cover things dropping out of combat. We've done it the way we thought it should happen. He had no way of rejoining the combat under the rule of the shortest distance possible to retain contact, because he was right in the corner. So it was basically a draw on a technicality, really. But yeah, so he didn't contribute towards combat res, but then the Terrorgeist died anyway, so it's kind of irrelevant. But yeah, so I mean, looking at the game, it was probably the weirdest game ever, right? So tactic of just running away was pretty strange, but I have to hand it to him, it worked. It drew out my Vampire Lord, and obviously from a really unfavourable situation for him to slightly less favourable. But yeah, so I charged my Vampire Lord out in the end just to try and get some points, because I was worried the Terrorgeist was going to die and then he'd be over 200 points up. But in doing so, I managed to kill the Mournfang, thus making it a draw, and thus, being able to absorb the loss of the Terrorgeist in terms of points. So it's really handy that Ghoul hung on, rolling 6 up. But then Size Cannon was due for a kill, and talk about epic kill, killing a Mortis engine on turn 6. So that would have been beautiful if he'd actually killed the Ghoul as well. He definitely would have won. So looking at it, I mean, we've kind of run out of I've got plenty of Skaven to fill up, but I just couldn't be bothered to put any more on there. So there's actually these units are over 100 zombies on each, just because of all the invocations that went off. So I mean, would have been, if he had fought that, he would have been fighting them forever, pretty much. So his tactic of moving back, although I don't necessarily think it was a great one, did the trick. So there's no point in me charging into him. So my kind of main plan for this game, after I decided to move back in turn 2, was just to cut these guys off, and then use I was hoping his Mournfang would charge the dogs, and then overrun into the raised zombies. Then I could fit the Lord's unit into the gap, and then charge him. But in the end I ended up charging the Terrorgeist into the Mournfang, which of course was a really bad idea in retrospect. Because obviously pinned them in place, and then left me open to the man-eaters, which was pretty bad. So what I should have done was just fly the Terraghost over to here and scream at the man-eaters still. See, if I don't actually... But the thing that sort of popped in my head is if I charge the Mournfang, I've got a pretty good chance of winning, just because it's a flank. Then he'll break, but of course he did pretty well, and passed his break test, thus leaving me in place. So it went really badly after that. So charging that Terraghost in was a really bad move. So, I mean, the dummy of the match has to be me for doing that. The man of the match has to be the Terraghost, just for eating like 4 cannonballs, surviving the game. Well, not surviving the game, but surviving that far. But he only died in the end because I made a stupid mistake. So that wasn't very good. The Vampire Lord obviously scored me the points, as he's prone to do. And lucky that the rules don't actually cover him dropping out of combat, thus, as far as we can tell, not crumbling. Otherwise I would have won anyway. So it's not the best way to win, really. So I think a moral victory to side, but only because Matt Ward didn't cover that in the rule set. Or at least if he has in some way, or it's been FAQ'd or something, then please let us know, because we'd really like to know that. Or at least like what other people do, because we're not really sure. I think we played it right, but
well, yeah, because
I don't want to win because of a technicality if it's wrong. So
yeah, because essentially he would have actually had to have gone in an L shape because they finished like
yeah,
this,
exactly.
and they would have either had to have move.
Yeah, because the rules as written say about you move the shortest distance possible to retain contact, but there was just no way he could retain contact until the combat was over. So we just assume he drops out of combat, thus doesn't take any crumble wounds. But you know, it's whatever. If you think we've done that wrong, then please let us know. But as far as we're concerned, we've done it right. But you know, if it meant that Simon actually took the win because of that, then we would like to know, because he likes to win every now and again. But as for everything else, the Necromancers did really well to dodge a couple of miscasts, and everything else tried to do what was intended, but in the end I was just chasing ogres across the board in the end. It would have been nice to get Van Hals off just to catch up with him a bit, but he's moving back is almost as quick as my marches. But yeah, it was quite a fun game in the end. Like I said, it's a bit weird and not much combat, so it kind of goes against our principles for Warhammer. We really like a dust up in the middle, but you know, he got the result, so you can't really knock it. Yeah, so a lot of zombies did, well, nothing really did anything apart from the Terraghost. The game was pretty much about the Terraghost dying or not dying. In the end it died, so that's it. So I'm really happy that Gaul passed his regen save as well. That's it for vampire counts. So hand you over to Si and give you his lamentation and what could have gone better or worse.
Yeah, well, essentially I had to adopt the moving back plan pretty early on. Ollie had played quite cleverly, because my plan was to basically charge off the Mournfang, leaving the man-eaters open, and considering they would have had Swift Stride and Stubborn, get them into the unit with the unit of skeletons there with the general. Now, because we hadn't changed our lists, no, sorry, it wasn't getting the man-eaters in, it was getting the big unit there in. And the plan was to get him in, challenge out his general. However, because the crypt horror was still there, sorry, the crypt horror, the bloody ethereal nasty bastard with the scythe, I was kind of forced in, because I figured, well, if I get into a challenge with that, then I'm screwed, because then it's just going to chip me away until I'm dead. Because there's obviously 2 characters in, so he can choose who he's going to accept with, and because he's sensible, he's going to choose the ethereal guy every time. If he wasn't there, I was hoping he'd charge him out like he did last time, and get him out and around, and then I could get it into that unit and then challenge out his general and try and chip away with the guy, because I had my guy with the dragon helm for the 2-up regen, 2-up ward versus flaming attacks, and the other trickster Shard, so he would have had to have re-rolled all of his failed, all of his past armour saves. So yeah, I mean, I had the plan, but the trouble is he'd manoeuvred everything in rather a nice pincer movement. With the magic phase, I don't feel there's much point dispelling invocations unless you're very close to wiping out a undead unit, at which case then that tends to be essential. But with these big tanking units of zombies, I didn't want anything to do with them. I just didn't want to fight them at all. Hence why I spent most of the game then moving back, because I realised that if I got into combat, I couldn't fight them on the terms that I wanted. So I just decided that I wasn't going to fight them, because I figured, and that was going very, very well. But the trouble was that I was unable to kill the Terrorgeist. Had I managed to wipe the Terrorgeist out within, say, even by my turn 3, the Mournfang would have been able to move back into a better position, and then the plan was basically to come in, finish off one of the big units, or one of the smaller units, like the Crypt Ogres, get them killed at the end of the game, and then just generally win, kind of how I almost won anyway, just by wiping them out. Unfortunately, I might have been able to get hold of and wipe the ghouls over there. However, I was locked in combat with that, with the pesky, that bloody pesky ethereal redirector of his, bloody annoying spirit host, for a bit too long. So unfortunately, they were kind of out of the game. They were out for about half the game. However, I did really, really well. They managed to wipe out 15 guys with 3 rounds of shooting, which is not bad. So yeah, I was quite happy how that panned out. But yeah, a little bit disappointed I didn't manage to get the win. It was very, very close to winning. I think kind of what did it was just my inability to wipe out the Terrorgeist, because I'd realised that as Ollie had kind of pushed everything to over here to a point, to bring everyone in for to support everyone. I realised that he was reaching critical kind of unit density. He wasn't going to get much else in. So I realised that meant then that he wasn't going to be able to get very many charges off, which then denied him the ability to overwhelm me. So I figured if I picked and chose my time to get a charge in, supported, then I could wipe out one of the units and then snatch the win from under his nose. And like I say, it almost worked. I think if I'd cannonballed the Terrorgeist and then waited and then managed to get into here, or if I'd been a little bit luckier, I mean, like I say, I wasn't expecting to kill the ghouls. To be fair, by that point, it was just a bit of luck that the Mortis engine was in range to kill it, but then just a little bit of unluck, or a bit of luck for Ollie that he didn't roll quite high enough on 2d6 to do enough wounds to wipe that last guy out. So, all in all, I was reasonably happy with how it went. I was a bit pissed off that I couldn't kill the Terrorgeist with the cannon, because really and truly, the cannon, that's what cannons do. They just wipe Terrorgeists off the face of the board. But unfortunately, I had to use my trusty man-eaters, the only actual painted unit in my army at the moment. And they're not even man-eaters; they're just balls, but they still look cool. So yeah, I think to be fair, I think probably the man of the match, even though he failed to do anything, was the cannon, because it actually hit. It pretty much hit everything. Other than the time it bounced over and the time it misfired. So 4 out of 6 turns it actually hit stuff, and it managed to knock, well, it did in total 7 wounds to the Terrorgeist, and it did 6 wounds to the Mortis engine. So, you know, it did really well. The man-eaters were good. I didn't even have to use the 6 great weapon attacks at the rear. I did really well with that. So yeah, I think probably the jobs of the match were probably the probably the Iron Guts who didn't actually do anything. Even the Mornfang did pretty well, regenerating and holding that Terrorgeist in place to allow me to get the charge with the Man-Eaters. So even though I had to sacrifice 350 points, it was enough, because like I said, if he got around and started firing at the Man-Eaters, I think he then would have won quite easily. So yeah, that was a good game. I was using some different tactics, so I feel I learnt a fair bit, and it was good. So Ollie now has a vast amount of Skaven slaves to pack back up, and I think he's getting close to breaking the world record for zombie unit size. Because like we said, I think if they got any further, he wouldn't actually be able to deploy them on the back of the battlefield.
I've got I started off with 60 zombies, and I've got over 200.
Yeah. So it was a good game, and we'll see you next week.